But
I don't know
you just
why
said right now.
It's probably because the cameras are still on.
Yeah,
I already told you
trying to
to
show
Andy.
up.
So I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but the Island Boys, Kodiak, Red, and Fly Soldier were just on the Impaulsive Podcast with Logan Paul, Mike, and this other guy, George. I didn't know who George was before watching this video, but I'm sure, as a lot of you guys have probably heard, George offended the Island Boys and they walked off the podcast. I guess this isn't like a true reaction because I have already seen this video before. I've actually watched it twice already. And I'm just making this video to talk about it a little bit because I read through some of the comments on the original video, and apparently my opinion on what happened is apparently different from like a lot of people in the comment section, so I thought I would make this video. We're not going to go through the whole video. I'm just going to pretty much skip up until the part where the problems start happening. And let's go ahead and get right into it. But one thing I want to point out, and this is going to make sense later, is just pay attention to George's body language throughout this interview. Like check out George's body language. Like, I know that he's sitting on the end of the couch and he's trying to look at them, so he kind of has to do this, but I feel like the whole interview he just looks like he's kind of maybe a little bit disinterested. He looks like he's kind of tired, and he only really talks like a couple times in this video, and it just so happens that like the second time he decided to talk, he like pissed these guys off. And watch this. Like, there he is again.
In the chest.
There's George again, sitting like that. So here we are, guys. This part's really interesting because Logan says to them, just watch.
What if it doesn't work out? And now you just got this hair and these face tats.
But
see, they could have taken that the wrong way. But the interesting thing is they get asked that a lot, and I don't think that is actually a trigger for them.
by the way, we're the only ones in Palm Beach County that got permanent Johnny Dang teeth in Palm Beach.
You should hit up Guinness Book of World Records.
See, you could even say right there, Logan is kind of like provoking them there too. Logan, and I've seen him do this in other interviews as well, where he's kind of like facetious. He's talking with a little bit of sarcasm. Some people might take that the wrong way. They don't seem to at this point. Mike, on the other hand, if you go back and if you want to watch the entire interview, I like the way Mike's conducting the interview.
They might take that one.
Something like that. I had them up.
I think if God forbid it doesn't
Okay, this is it right here. If God forbid it doesn't
go in your guys' direction, for real, I think you guys take all of your jewelry assets and invest it in something. So you guys will never ever be broke again. So I don't think there's...
That's the point where they get triggered right there. The word broke is what triggered them. And this is one of those situations where I think it's really important to read the room. Not only with like doing an interview, and this is all just my opinion. I don't have experience doing interviews or anything like that. But even say if you're doing something like stand-up comedy, if like a certain joke isn't hitting with the crowd, maybe you don't say the next joke, which is similar to that first one. You know what I'm saying?
There's never going to be a broke situation, but I'm saying
they didn't like that he was like talking about them being broke at a certain point. They did not like that. And you could tell when they both looked at each other, you could tell that they did not like that. Just watch it again. Watch it again.
I think if God forbid it doesn't go in your guys' direction, for real, I think you guys take all of your jewelry
They're still cool at this point.
assets and invest it in something. So you guys will
They're still cool at this point, but watch right when he says the word broke.
never ever be broke again. So I don't think there's ever going to be a broke
He's like, what?
situation. But I'm saying, like, if you guys...
Ooh, and you could tell that they're upset at this point. That got them upset. And George is sitting right next to them. Like at this point, I would be like, all right, let's steer the question away from there. Unless I was intentionally trying to provoke these guys. That's the only reason that you would keep going at them, either if you were totally oblivious to like how they were uncomfortable right there, or if you were intentionally trying to get a reaction out of them.
It can't be worth that much, man. I don't think you're going to flip that into a retirement.
No, you could definitely flip their jewelry into down payment or something, for sure.
Let me tell you something. George, stop talking. We have multiple...
I can't tell them apart because they look so similar, but the one on the right, he definitely got more upset than the one on the left.
Wait, that was... Yeah. Hey, that was for you guys.
Yeah, you...
And they're still okay. George could have totally recovered this still. They're still good at this point. Like, he could still recover.
That wasn't like a hate shot.
I don't need financial advice
we don't
when I
need
probably
financial
make more
advice
money
from
than
you.
you.
But that was
At this point, George just needs to say, okay, I'm sorry, and step back, because what's happening right here is when you're like in a collaborative setting and you're working with several different people, it's not just you. He's working with Logan and Mike, plus there's like a whole crew there. When you've got this kind of production going on, sometimes you gotta like swallow your pride and just put your ego aside so you can work to the common goal of getting a good interview out of these guys, because I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is their biggest interview probably since the No Jumper interview that they had back in October, right before the Island Boys song came out.
me being nice. It wasn't me being like an
Oh man, and they're Logan, he's just like laughing like,
asshole.
not
I could be an
really-
asshole. I could turn
why
it
don't
up
you
and be.
look, this part is totally like, come on, man. You guys know the saying, like, be the bigger man. This is the point where he really needs to stop, but he keeps going.
An
Why don't you
asshole.
go talk to
Being
somebody
asshole
else
is not
about
gonna
that?
go in your favor. But look,
No, it could go in my favor.
Look, that was, come on, man. George, what are you doing, man?
you really don't want to go there, bro.
I could go there
Okay,
because I was giving you guys nice advice and you guys were being assholes.
Hey, George.
So remember earlier, guys, how I was pointing out like George's body language? And I don't want to insinuate anything, but what this reminds me of is, I don't know if you've ever seen like two drunk guys start arguing at a bar, or if you've ever seen like a bar fight break out. They usually start like this. This is exactly how they start. I don't want to say that George was intoxicated during this interview, but he was acting awfully lethargic earlier on in the interview. He only really spoke like 2 times, I think. And then he gets very confrontational at this point in the interview. And a lot of people might say like, oh, it's good that George is sticking up for himself. It's like, maybe, but not when there's a lot of people around you relying on you to get a job done. They're trying to get this interview done, and he's kind of like hindering that process, right?
George, keep talking. I'm
Keep
walk
it how you
out.
wanna keep
I'm,
it.
I'm right here, you guys.
Okay. So what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, you guys are throwing a lot of threats. I'm sitting right here.
No one's threatening
one's
you.
threatening
Who the
you.
fuck
You
is
You guys,
threatening?
In my opinion, he's behaving like an intoxicated person. I don't want to say that he is intoxicated because I don't know, but that's the vibe that I'm getting from him. That's what this is reminding me of.
said it's
I
not
said
gonna go
I'll
my
walk
way.
out.
Yeah.
This is not the Note
Bro,
Boys.
tell
We don't do
George,
fake
stop
over
talking,
here.
please.
Yeah. What are you trying to scare me or something? I'm not scared of you, huh, man?
All right, I'm not scared of you guys either.
Okay, so just keep it like that. Feel me?
I'm gonna step in for a
Hey,
second.
George.
Hold
You
on.
gonna keep talking?
No, hold on.
I am.
No,
This is
hold
a
on.
podcast.
No,
Here, I'll move it for you. I was giving you nice advice, bro.
I agree with that.
Did I say anything mean?
Yeah, and this is the point where you can visibly see, because later on they try to play it off like, oh, you know, it wasn't a big deal, but Logan and Mike at this point of the interview are visibly upset with George. They might not make it seem like it later, but in this point in time, they know that George was wrong and he screwed up the interview.
Fucked up, George. Our first guest to walk.
Dumbass.
Mike is especially upset because he was actually taking the interview pretty seriously.
I said if it doesn't work
Look
out.
what you done. You upset the Island Boys.
I said if it didn't
Should we
work
take?
out.
Should we take a pause? Should we take a pause for a second?
If it doesn't work out for my career, I have backups.
Hey, you don't have to walk out. I'm down to talk, but does this guy have to be in?
Look, and this part's really interesting because they could have still saved the interview. They could have had them come back. The interview still would have had the drama of them initially walking off, but they could have had them come back, and then George starts up again. If George had like a clear head on his shoulders, he could have just said, you know what, I'll step aside so that they will come back and talk to at least Logan and Mike.
Yo, what did I say that offended you guys so much?
Hey.
I think it was a miscommunication.
I want to know. No. Before you come back, I want to know what you thought was
I want
wrong.
to know how much you're worth, because you're wearing.
No. We don't have to do
What
that.
does it
I
have
think-
to do with
No, I
words?
think. What does that have to do with words?
Because you said sell jewelry and be broke, and that makes no sense.
What the
Well, I
fuck are
think
you
you-
saying?
no,
I
no.
said if God forbid it doesn't work
yelling?
out.
Bro,
Who are you?
What's happening here?
Who's this guy?
All right, hold on. Dude.
What are you trying to show
Let's
off?
I'm
have.
not showing up. I said if God forbid, which means an
Hey,
accident.
bro,
If
hey,
God
bro.
forbid, a
Hey,
situation
you know
would
who I
happen.
am, bro? You know me from Island Boys, but you know I'm thugging, bro, right? You know that, right?
Why don't we just let cooler heads
What the
prevail?
fuck
Why don't
just
we just let
happened?
cooler heads prevail? You know how to do
Listen,
that.
Even at this point, I'm pretty sure that they could have still recovered the interview if George would have just left. They have another guest coming on later. George could have came back for that, but I mean, he could have at least put his ego aside to get the interview finished.
I told you, end it already. You haven't ended it. You keep on talking about it.
But
I don't
you
know
just
why
said
it's,
right now.
It's probably because the cameras are still on.
Yeah.
I already
Bro,
told
you're
you
trying to
end
show
it.
out, bro. We're not
Leave it
going
alone.
for
Okay, so
Leave
okay,
it alone.
explain to me
Tell me
what
not
I
to-
said.
Okay, George, because I was fucking with you in the beginning.
Like, just look at him right there.
Bro, I
like-
never stopped fucking with you
Okay,
guys.
but George, leave it alone. I
Leave
just said
what
change the
alone?
subject. Leave it alone.
Guys. I don't know if y'all are serious, but
I'm no, I'm not.
we're
No.
done. We're done.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Logan, I gotta say, I feel like he handled the situation pretty well. Just wanted to end things.
But you guys were good. Thank you for coming. No, actually, that was fantastic. No, you guys were really good.
Appreciate y'all.
You're very cool.
What the fuck? Did I say something that really bothered people?
No.
Because if you had a career and I said, God forbid, it doesn't work, you could take.
And this is the interesting thing because Logan says, I asked the same thing a minute ago. In my opinion, they weren't actually offended by what Logan said because a lot of people have, questioned them about whether it's going to work out or not. They didn't like that George was insinuating that they were going to go broke. The broke thing, definitely hit a nerve, and he didn't notice that.
Hold up. It was my
He could have, steered the conversation in a different direction.
question.
Your assets.
You were just building off it. I asked him. I said, boys, if it doesn't work.
I said the same thing to you about your Pokemon cards.
Hold up a second. I can't even worry about this for one more second. Guys, we have another guest coming on momentarily. His name is...
You can still tell that Logan's pretty upset and he's just trying to play it off. Understandably, I would probably be upset as well.
No, well, hold on, Doug. I just think
Bro,
Wait,
I'm
are you-
sorry. Like
no, you
like,
did absolutely
can't
no,
scare
you did
me, bro.
absolutely nothing wrong. You said they could roll their jewelry into an investment that could set them up for a life.
And Mike is obviously still pissed off. You could hear it in what is George doing? Why are his shorts pulled all the way up?
Time.
Oh, that's just how they are.
Wait,
Okay.
stop tripping.
No,
I
it's
just
not.
don't like.
And he's tripping out right here. He's letting his emotions get a hold of him right now. He's tripping out.
That
Don't
shit, bro.
don't even trip for 1 second.
I think they
Georgie, can I ask you something? When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And by ask you something, I mean tell you something.
I don't like threats though.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, that was at this point, George just needs to be taken back to his room or wherever he's staying. He needs to sleep this off or something, man.
Do you want to know what the
How did you think
He's completely oblivious to what's going on, and Logan is still pissed.
all of that was gonna end, George?
Well,
Was
I
there a
thought
better
maybe you'd
ending?
hug me and sorry, misunderstood. You actually were giving me great advice.
Do you want to know what the most fucked up thing about all this is for the viewers at home?
They're gonna make it and
no
make fuckloads
no
of money.
one was more excited about the Island Boys than
Anyways, guys, that's my take on this video. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I think George definitely could have handled the situation better than he did. And of course, Mike and Logan also agree with that. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. In case you're new here, this is my brand new reaction channel. This is only my third video, I think. I do have a main YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description below. And I also have a reaction channel in Spanish. If you want to check that one out too, I'll put it down in the description below. And if you did like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos by me in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also that bell notifications button. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle right here. It's @YT_Tobias. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.